I should have listened when he said not to touch the crooked one, because now it's growing back, even after I burned it. It started as just a weekend trip. My girlfriend, Megan, and I were driving out to her hometown for Halloween. Small, quiet place. The kind of town where the biggest event of the season is the annual Pumpkin Patch Festival. We thought it'd be fun, nostalgic. Cider, hayrides, picking pumpkins, all that cheesy autumn stuff. The patch was on the edge of town, an old farm called Hollow Creek Acres. The kind of place that looked straight out of a postcard. Orange fields stretching out under a gray sky. A crooked wooden sign at the entrance, hand-painted and faded. Pick carefully, they remember you. I laughed when I read that. Thought it was just small-town Halloween marketing. But the guy who ran the place didn't laugh back. He was standing by the gate, old man, denim overalls, flannel shirt, wide-brim hat. Face like a dried apple. No smile, no greeting, just eyes that followed you. When we walked past, he said it quietly, almost under his breath. Pick carefully. I joked, what happens if I don't? He didn't answer, just pointed his dirt-stained finger toward the rows of pumpkins. Some were bright orange, some pale, some black. Not painted, actually black like charcoal. The air smelled like damp earth and something else, metallic, almost like blood. We wandered the patch for nearly an hour. Megan was laughing, taking selfies, trying to find the perfect one. But something about the place felt off. No birds, no bugs, no wind. The silence was wrong, thick, like the air itself was waiting for something. That's when I saw it. A pumpkin off by itself, at the far edge of the field, bigger than the others. Its stem twisted into a spiral, almost like a horn. And the surface wasn't smooth. It looked scarred. Deep lines carved across its skin, forming patterns like veins. When I touched it, it felt warm. Leave that one, the old man called from behind me. His voice carried, sharp and cold. Megan laughed. What? Is it cursed or something? He didn't move closer. Didn't blink. They grow for the ones who shouldn't come here. We both laughed it off, but my hand was still on the pumpkin. And for a moment, I swear, I felt it pulse. Megan picked a cute round one. I picked the twisted one. I don't know why. It felt personal, like it had been waiting for me. At the counter, the old man wrapped it up in brown paper, but never looked me in the eye. He said one last thing before we left. If it bleeds, don't run. It'll only make it faster. Megan thought he was senile, but I couldn't stop thinking about his tone. He wasn't warning me. He was reminding me. That night, we drove back to my place, a little house on the edge of the woods. We set the pumpkin on the porch. When I unwrapped it, there was a dark stain on the paper. Sticky, like sap. But it wasn't sap. It was red. By morning, the stain had doubled. The pumpkin looked different, slightly bigger. The patterns in its skin deeper, like they'd been carved overnight. Megan said I was imagining it, but I saw something seeping from one of the lines, dark and thick, dripping down the side. That night, I heard noises outside, soft thuds on the porch, like footsteps, but not human. When I opened the door, the pumpkin was sitting a few inches closer to the house. I thought maybe raccoons had rolled it, until I saw the prints. Tiny, like child-sized, but deep, pressed into the wood, and they led straight up to the door. The next morning, the pumpkin had moved again, right against the door. When I touched it, something inside shifted, like liquid sloshing, and I swear I heard it breathe. That's when it split, right down the middle. A crack formed across the top, wet, glistening, and something inside pressed against it from within, like hands. I stumbled back. Megan screamed, and the pumpkin opened. Inside wasn't seeds or pulp. It was flesh, pale, veiny, and something that looked like an eye rolled upward and blinked. I grabbed the nearest thing, a shovel, and smashed it, over and over until it stopped moving. The smell that came out was like rot and copper. We buried it that night in the backyard. Neither of us said a word. But when I woke up the next morning, there was dirt under my fingernails, and the spot where we buried it was empty. No hole, no mound, just smooth grass. Megan wanted to leave. I should have gone with her. Instead, I went back to Hollow Creek. The sign at the entrance was gone. The gate was chained. The fields empty. But as I walked along the fence line, I saw them. Rows and rows of holes in the dirt, freshly dug, like something had climbed out. That night, I started hearing scratching. From the walls, from inside the vents, and the smell, that same wet metallic rot, filled the house again. When I turned off the lights, I could see faint orange glows under the floorboards, like dozens of little candles flickering below. At around 3 a.m., I heard Megan scream. I ran to the bedroom. She was gone. The window was open. Outside, in the moonlight, I saw it. A shape, huge, crawling on all fours, dragging something that looked like her. Its body was covered in vines, and its head was the pumpkin, my pumpkin. I ran after it, through the woods, tripping over roots and branches. The deeper I went, the stronger the smell got. Then I saw them, hundreds of pumpkins glowing in the darkness. All shapes, all sizes, each with a different face carved into it. And some of those faces were screaming. Megan was on the ground in the center of the field. The creature, whatever it was pressing vines into her skin. And with each pulse, another pumpkin grew nearby. I grabbed the shovel from the truck bed and ran straight at it. When I swung, it turned, and I saw my own face carved into its side. It whispered in my voice, "You picked wrong." I swung again and again, shouting, crying, until it collapsed. I dragged Megan away, threw the shovel in the truck, and sped off. We made it about a mile before she started coughing. Her skin was pale, and when I looked down, orange veins were spreading under her skin. By the time I reached the highway, she wasn't breathing. I buried her the next morning, far from the house. But 2 nights later, the dirt shifted. Something sprouted. A green vine. Thick, wet, pulsing. That was a week ago. Now they're everywhere. The vines, the pumpkins, they grow faster each night. And each one looks more human. I tried burning them, but they just come back. The smoke smells like her perfume. This morning, I went to the window. The yard is full. Dozens of pumpkins, all glowing softly in the fog. And in the front row, the biggest one yet. It has Megan's eyes, and it's smiling. The phone's ringing again. It's the old man from Hollow Creek. His voice is shaking. He said, "You didn't pick that one. It picked you. Now the lights just went out. Something's moving down the hallway. Heavy, wet, dragging vines across the floor. I can smell the dirt, and I can hear them whispering outside, hundreds of them. Pick carefully, pick carefully." They're saying it over and over. And just now, the doorknob turned. "You're next."